Hello, my name is Will. I am here to answer some of your frequently asked questions for music lessons. This week is going to be number 4. I did 2 last week. I may do 2 this week as well. I'm not sure. But all right, let's get right into it. So, students are looking for music teachers, and one of the questions I get asked a lot, I want to say this is going to come up about 50 to 60% of the time, is why should I pay so much for music lessons? Now here's the deal. When I'm saying so much, what's really interesting is I tend to find the people who are complaining about prices are actually the ones that are not really that interested in putting in the work and the time and the effort. So 90% of the time when I get that question, I automatically assume that this person is either not going to take lessons or they're not really going to do that well. And I have been right every time so far. So let's go ahead and talk about a couple factors that should be considered when you're looking at prices and teachers, and what could be considered too much, what could be considered too little, and let's just go through that. All right, so, one of the major factors I tell people to really look at when you are looking for a music teacher for anything, even if it's just general music, you want to look at, one, their education. Now, why am I saying education? Now, no, I don't believe that you need to necessarily go to college to be the best musician on the planet. There are several people who you see and hear on the radio who are making millions and millions of dollars who are musicians. I'll talk about that at a different time. That, they never went to college or anything like that, and they're doing just fine. And then you have Joe Schmo, who, they went to college but did, and now they're a music teacher and they're teaching kids, and the kids are doing. So what you want to do is go ahead and talk to the person that you are planning on getting lessons from. If they have a website, like me, I work through Take Lessons and Musica. I teach my own lessons for people who didn't meet me through either one of those sites. Ask the question, did you go to college? What kind of music education do you have? I hold a bachelor in vocal performance. So when I'm asking for $1 a minute, so I used to be 20 and I was getting underpaid, and people were skipping over me because they felt that maybe I didn't have the experience for some reason, even though I had the education. So now I'm asking $1 a minute. I'm asking it because I went to a college and I learned all kinds of fun things about music, and I'm giving you that knowledge by being your teacher. So why is the music lesson so expensive? First of all, it's not. Where I live, I actually live in New England, and people who have the same education as me are asking for even more than I am. So you have to consider on the education scale, I have to live, get to you, pay off the college loans, which I haven't even started paying off, things like that. You're paying for the knowledge I already have. So that's the first thing, education. Number 2, experience. Now this is kind of weird when I say experience, because you're actually looking at 2 different things. 2 on 2. Hey, 2 different things when you're looking up experience. One, you want to look up and see that they have teaching experience. If somebody is asking for a large sum of money but has just started teaching, it may not necessarily be a good thing, as opposed to somebody who's been teaching for a long time and is asking for it. The reason being is communicating information to someone so that they understand it and can use it is in itself its own entity. You can be an amazing anything, really, but if you can't teach it, you can't teach it. You have to be able to communicate it, set goals for people that they can reach, things like that. And again, not everybody can do that. So that's the first thing in the experience you're going to look up. The second thing is to make sure that they have experience doing what they're teaching. You would see, again, I'm going to use me because I can only use me. I can't really use somebody else or somebody else's experiences. So you'll find that I have been doing all kinds of musical things since I was 3 years old. I did musicals every year. I was in band. I did, I still compose music. I've been a worship leader. I've been a youth band director. I wrote my own music curriculum and taught it. So you're going to see that I'm doing a lot of musical things. This is kind of fun to do. Sorry. Doing a lot of musical things. Whereas somebody who might not have anything, like somebody's offering guitar lessons who's never really done anything at all, I would be questioning the price on that one. So that's your second factor, is experience both in what being a teacher and actually doing what they're saying they're going to do. Number 3, pay attention to time. So there are some teachers who actually don't offer 30-minute lessons. They offer 45-minute lessons or an hour lesson. Their prices are going to look higher because they're offering you a larger amount of time, and they don't allow you to pick a smaller amount of time. So make sure you keep in mind that you are paying somebody for their time and their education and everything. It would be cheaper to go with a 30-minute lesson than a 60-minute lesson. I find that with websites, not necessarily if you were to like email me directly and ask for a time span and how much that would cost, it's a lot easier to communicate. But people who are looking through websites, especially trying to find teachers, look for the time slot you want. If you don't see it, that teacher does not have it. They will not teach that. So why is that so expensive? Because the time that they're offering is only X amount of time. Now, I will say for me, again, just me, I have specialty slots for special needs children, children under 5, even some special needs adults, if they wanted to do that, where I might have a very, very, very short time slot for them because they can't physically or mentally handle a longer time. Not every teacher is like that, which brings me to number 4. Do these teachers teach specialties? Do I teach specialties? Yes, I teach a specialty in that I am very experienced with special needs. I have a daughter who has special needs. I have had several students, all kinds of special needs, from ADD to Down syndrome to autism to just sensory issues, as in if it got too loud, they'd freak out, or if they didn't get enough stimulation, they would just, and we'd have to do something else. So check on that. If people have experience in these things, they should be asking for more, and that is why your lesson is more, because these people are experienced professionals teaching you what you want to know to the best of their ability. What to watch out for. So we talked about what to look for to find teachers, to distinguish why things are the price they are. Be very, 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 very careful when you're reading the fine print on everything, because there's a difference between people who have done these things and want to do these things. And it's all about wording. So make sure when you are teaching, or when you're looking for a teacher and you're looking through the websites, read what they wrote on their biographies, read what they wrote about their experience, make sure you're getting what you're looking for. When you are going to a music store, or you are going to find them in a different way, ask the questions. Hey, what is your experience? No, I didn't ask for what you want to do. What have you done? Things like that. That way you're making sure you're getting the best bang for your buck. Last thing that I would recommend about pricing and music lessons is talk to your teachers if you have a really specific situation. I grew up in a place called Detroit, Michigan. Actually, I grew up in South Warren, which is right outside of Detroit, Michigan. If you guys know anything about Detroit or South Warren or anything in that area, you know that that's a very, it's a poverty type place. There's not really a lot of money going on there. People aren't buying houses and cars and living it up. There's no living it up there. So, you know, I am, as a person, not unaware of people who have financial hardships, burdens, things like that. In fact, because of my situation, I still deal with that from time to time as well. So if you talk to a teacher, like someone like me or someone that you're working with, and say, hey, I really want to take lessons, I can only do X amount, they may be able to do a modified lesson for you. What that would mean is they may do, instead of 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and you can save money here. Or instead of every single week, you can do every other week or every 3 weeks or something. They will work with you to find a way to get you those lessons. If that's the teacher you're working with, your money is definitely well spent. They want your student to learn everything. And I'm going to say student because I don't want to assume children. Adults want to learn too. And actually, music lessons are very, very, very good for the elderly. They keep the brain stimulated, which helps them in the long run. So we can talk about that at a different time also. But anyways, so that's what you're really looking for. So education, experience in both teaching and in actually doing what they're saying they're doing, specialties, um, making sure the wording is correct about what they've done versus what they want to do, and making sure you are paying attention to the time slots, making sure that you're talking to these people about any kind of special concerns or situations you may be in. That's how you find the best teacher you can find when it comes to finances. So that's why your lesson is as much as it is, or why it isn't as much as it is. Sometimes we go with the best price and we don't actually get what we're paying for because the person's not able to deliver. Sometimes you may find that a person is undercharging, and in that case, if that person were to up their price in the future, you would talk to them about maybe holding your original price, things like that. But that's how all the financing things go. So, and again, since this is FAQ August, so frequently asked questions August, I want to address all of them. So that is why your lessons aren't free. All right, I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to go ahead and help me out here, I do have a Patreon page. What I use the Patreon funds for is not only to help make content like this. Obviously right now I'm doing one-shot videos because I have a device that cannot support having so many apps to edit and to add things, and it just doesn't have the memory for it. So it would help me get better equipment to make better videos. It also helps me create programs for people who don't have access to programs, such as band and things like that. I really do my best to create music opportunities for everyone. All right, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will put that link to the Patreon page below. Make sure to subscribe and share. Bye.